The iPhone 17 Pro Max is the kind of phone that makes people overspend before they even think twice. New chip, new camera hype, better thermals, more battery promises, more Apple polish, more status. On paper, it looks like the iPhone to beat. But here's the problem. Just because it is the newest Pro Max does not mean it is the smartest buy. And in 2026, that difference matters more than ever. Because once you slow down and look at the numbers, this story changes fast. If you go straight for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, you are paying premium money for refinements that most people will barely notice in daily use. And that is where this gets interesting, because the smarter move might actually be the iPhone 16 Pro Max for around $800. And for a lot of people, it might even be the iPhone 15 Pro Max at around $580. Welcome back. This is Pryce, where we help you save money, buy smarter tech, and reduce unnecessary electronic waste by avoiding upgrades you simply do not need. And today, we are breaking down why the iPhone 17 Pro Max is not the Pro Max I would recommend for most buyers in 2026. Because this is one of those cases where the best iPhone is not the best deal, and that difference can save you hundreds of dollars. Now, to be fair, the iPhone 17 Pro Max is a beast. It is fast, premium, polished, and packed with everything Apple does best. The performance is top tier, the cameras are strong, the battery story sounds impressive, and the overall experience is exactly what people expect from Apple's most expensive phone. So no, this is not me saying it is bad, not even close. The problem is worse than that. It is too expensive for what most people actually need, and that is the first red flag. Refined is not the same as transformed. This is not one of those years where Apple completely changed the experience. This feels more like Apple polishing something that was already excellent, and when that happens, value becomes everything. Because once you look past the launch hype, the iPhone 16 Pro Max starts looking very dangerous. It still gives you the giant premium display, the flagship feel, the top-tier performance, the premium build, the excellent battery life, and cameras that are already more than enough for most people. In real life, for social media, photos, videos, gaming, multitasking, content consumption, and even content creation, the iPhone 16 Pro Max still feels ridiculously high-end, and that creates a massive problem for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. If last year's model already feels this complete, why pay that much more? And then it gets even worse once the iPhone 15 Pro Max enters the conversation, because this is where the value story turns brutal. The iPhone 15 Pro Max still looks premium, still feels fast, still has a beautiful large display, still has great cameras, and still delivers the kind of iPhone experience that most people would still call flagship level. So now the new phone is trapped. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is close enough to make the iPhone 17 Pro Max feel overpriced, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max is cheap enough to make both look questionable depending on your budget. Now maybe you are thinking, yeah, but if I want the best, why not just buy the best? And that sounds fair, but here is the issue. The best on paper is not always the smartest buy in real life. If you are the kind of person who upgrades every year, wants the newest flex, and does not care about value, then sure, buy the iPhone 17 Pro Max. But most people are not that buyer. Most people want the premium iPhone experience without burning unnecessary money. And honestly, bro, this is exactly the kind of trap I try to avoid myself. I have had that same moment with premium phones before, where the newest model looks irresistible at first. You see the marketing, you see the polished launch, you see the hype, and your brain starts telling you this has to be the one. But then the hype cools down, the real-world comparison starts, and suddenly the older flagship is doing 90 to 95% of the same experience for way less cash. At that point, the smartest flex is not buying the newest phone. The smartest flex is keeping more money in your pocket. So here is the breakdown. If you want the best balance of premium iPhone experience and modern value, get the iPhone 16 Pro Max. That is the smart buy for most people. But if you want the hardest value punch and still want a true flagship iPhone experience, get the iPhone 15 Pro Max. That might be the real hidden gem here. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is amazing, but amazing does not automatically mean worth it.